Okay, so for the thinking part of our lesson today, we're just going to do two quick questions. The first one is, let's just pick two people from our class. Let's pick, who have I not chosen in a while? Okay, we're going to do Ariana. Ran 7/10 of a mile. And we're going to say Jennifer ran 6/9 of a mile. So my question is, who ran further? By how much? Okay. So really quick thinking question. It's more like a move into the application world, but just to kind of see that you can do two things in this step. The first thing is you need to, before you even start subtracting, you need to compare. And this is why it's a thinking question, because the first step is who ran further. You've got two different fractions. You can't really subtract them because you're not subtracting anything. So we have to look at 7/10 and 6/9 as separate. And the only way to compare them is to make like common denominators. So let's figure this out. We'll multiply 10 by 9 to get 90. And now that we have common denominators, we can compare and figure out who ran further. So from 10 to 90, we multiply by 9. So 7 times 9 is 63. 9 times 10 gives us 90. So we're going to multiply this by 10, and that gives us 60. So now that we have that, oh, this is super easy, right? We know that Ariana has run further. How much further? Well, that's the next step. Now, you've already got the subtraction already done for you. So this is Ari. We know that's Ari. So we would look at this and say, okay, our denominators equal up. So 63 minus 60 is 3/90. We're done, right? Not so much, right? We have to divide by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 90 divided by 3 is 1/30 of a mile. So even though it's an easier thinking question, it takes you to look at this and say, okay, I'm not going to subtract this from this. That's not going to give me anything, right? I have to look at comparing them by making them like. Let's do one more, and this one's going to be the one for your own, and this is going to be our stopper for the day. It is a little bit more challenging, so I really hope that you can kind of follow along. So let's say that Allison, we're not saying which one, Allison sleeps healthy. She sleeps a healthy 8.5 hours. Okay. But yesterday it took her 3 1/6 hours more to fall asleep. So she didn't get her usual 8.5 hours. She was in a deep dive on YouTube into the cuttlefish. And she was watching as many videos on the cuttlefish as she could. So it took her, and she was up for another 3 1/6 hours looking at just cuttlefish videos. So I want to know two questions. How many hours did she sleep? And how many minutes was that? Okay, so take a pause. I'd like you to try this out, do your best, and then come back. If you have any questions and you're confused, you can just wait for the video to start again. Okay. So let's solve this. Allison sleeps for 8.5 hours usually. She took her 3 and 1/6 hours longer to fall asleep. So how long did she sleep for? So we're going to write this out. We're going to take our bigger number, 8 1/2. I don't know why I'm writing it like that. Sorry, guys. 8 1/2 minus 3 1/6. We're going to use the technique that I've used earlier. We're going to just take out the whole numbers. So we're going to do 8 minus 3, and that gives us 5, as we know. I'm going to leave that 5 over there. I'll make a fraction for that. Now that I've eliminated those from our equation, let's just do the math. Just do the fractions by themselves. 1/2 minus 1/6. I ask myself, how do I find a common denominator? Well, 6 is pretty good because 6 goes into 6 and 2 goes into 6. So we're going to make them both 6. I'm not changing this, so I'm going to make this 1/6. How do I get from 2 to 6? 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. So I've got 3 minus 2/6. Sorry, 3 minus 1/6 is 2/6. Or, to reduce it further, is 1/3. I'm going to bring this, I'm going to bring it all the way up over here. And I'm going to write 5 1/3. So she slept for a total of 5 1/3 hours. That's part A, done. How do I find out minutes? Well, this is why it's a thinking question, because it's bringing into account the other skills that you've learned. So because I know it's minutes, I know that there's 60 minutes in an hour, so I'm going to have to multiply this number by 60. So I'm going to rewrite it as 5 1/3 times 60, right? This is representing my minutes. So let's turn them into fractions. So 3 times 5 is 15. 15 times 1 is 16 over 3 times 60 over 1. Now, you haven't done multiplication in a while, so remember this. I can look within my fraction and see opportunities to reduce before multiplying. And I see that here. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 60 divided by 3 is how much? 20. And now it's simple math. 16 times 20 is, times 20, I'm going to do the math right now, 12, what is it? 2 times 2 is 2 times 320. Oops. 320 over 1, which just means 320 minutes. Step 2, done. Subtraction done for the day. There is a brief exit card. It's going to be in the classwork section. It's a Google slide. It's asking you to try to complete a magic square. On Wednesday, we are going to do a order of operations lesson. And then on Friday, we're going to do almost like a consolidation of our fractions unit. So there'll be a bunch of questions that ask you. If at any point in time you need some help, I know today was a little bit crazy and tomorrow's going to be a little bit hectic as well, just because the girls are getting their 4-month shots. So I will try to be on as much as possible. Eventually, we may have to move to the afternoon around 1 o'clock for when I will be online, but I'll keep you guys posted for that. So thank you again for watching. Hopefully this has made it a little bit more clear. And please check out the exit card under the Google Classroom classwork section. See you later, guys.